Hi guys! Welcome sa Engineered Math Channel. Sa video na to ay tuturo ko sa inyo ang solving exact differential equations. So kung gusto nyo itong matutunan, just keep on watching.
Okay, so far ay meron na akong iba't ibang topics for solving DE, which is yung variable separable DE as well as yung homogeneous differential equations. So ngayon ay susolve naman tayo ng another type of DE, which is yung exact differential equations. Pero bago tayo dumako dun sa exact differential equations, ay pag-aralan muna natin yung total differential. Kasi gagamitin natin tong concept nito kapag magsusolve na tayo ng exact differential equations. Okay, so definition. Ano ba yung total differential? The total differential df of the function f of x, y is defined as the differential df is equal to partial derivative of f with respect to x times dx plus partial derivative of f with respect to y dy. Okay, so ito yung formula para mahanap natin yung total differential given yung function of x, y. So, gagamit tayo dito ng concept ng partial derivative. So, ibig sabihin ng partial derivative, let's say for partial derivative of f with respect to x, iti-treat natin yung y as a constant kapag nagdi-differentiate tayo. As well as for partial derivative of f with respect to y, iti-treat naman natin yung x as a constant. So, yung given natin na f of x, y, yun yung ipa-partial derivative natin both with respect to x at with respect to y. Tapos, i-affix lang natin dito sa formula yung dx saka dy after nating mahanap itong partial derivative na dalawa. So, yun ay magiging total differential. Okay, so para ma-illustrate, mag-solve tayo ng examples. So, for the first example, we have find the total differential of a f of x, y is equal to x cubed minus 2xy plus y squared. Okay, so ang formula uli natin for total differential ay df is equal to partial derivative of f with respect to x dx plus partial derivative of y with respect to y dy. Okay? So ngayon, hanapin natin itong partial derivative of f with respect to x. So, diba sabi ko, kapag with respect to x tayo nagpa-partial derivative, isa-set natin yung y as constant. So, parang itong derivative ng x cubed ay 3x squared power formula. Minus, itong y, constant yan. So, parang kasama ng 2, pwede lang siyang nakamultiply sa isa't isa. So, parang magiging 2y. Tapos, i-derivative natin itong x. Ang derivative ng x ay 1. Plus, this time yung y squared, since y nga ay constant, derivative nyon ay 0. Right? So, therefore, we have partial derivative of f with respect to x as 3x squared minus 2y. Okay? Next, partial derivative of f with respect to y naman. So, this time, constant naman si x. So, therefore, pag derivative natin tong f partial with respect to y, derivative ng x cube ay, dahil constant siya, 0. Minus, this time, itong x, siya naman yung tatabi lang sa 2 kasi constant lang siya. So, minus 2x, and derivative ng y is 1. Plus, derivative ng y squared is, power formula is 2y. Kasi with respect to y tayo, so may derivative siya. So, therefore, we have negative 2x plus 2y. Applying to this formula, the partial derivatives that we get, we have total differential of f is equal to 3x squared minus 2y times dx plus negative 2x plus 2y times dy. Okay? Next, for letter B naman, we have f of x, y is equal to 3x squared y cubed minus cos xy. Okay, so total differential of f is also equal to partial derivative of f with respect to x dx plus partial derivative of f with respect to y dy. So, hanapin uli natin itong partial derivative of f with respect to x. So, we have itong 3x squared y cubed. So, itong y cubed constant, tsaka 3. So, igigilid lang natin. And then itong x squared, differentiate natin, magiging 2x. Okay? Minus. So, derivative ng cos xy is, so, yung cosine, derivative niya ay negative sine. Right? So, therefore, we have negative sine, and then copy lang natin tong xy sa loob, tapos chain rule. Derivative pa natin itong xy. Anong derivative ng xy? Considering y as a constant. So, parang, affix lang natin yung y as a constant, then derivative lang natin yung x. So, equal yon sa 1. So, therefore, we have 3 times 2 is 6. Tapos, affix lang natin yung variable. So, 6xy cubed. And then ito, so, y times 1 is y. Tapos, negative times negative is positive. So, plus y sine xy. So, therefore, this is the partial derivative of f with respect to x. Okay? Next, partial derivative of f with respect to y naman. So, this time, constant naman si x. So, therefore, dito sa unang part, yung x squared, itatabi lang muna natin siya sa 3. So, we have 3x squared. And then, yung y cube yung i-differentiate natin. Power formula is 3y squared. Minus, differentiate natin with respect to y naman. So, negative sine xy ulit, chain rule, and then derivative ng xy sa loob. Bali, ang constant naman dito si x. So, parang tatabi lang si x, and derivative ng y is 1. So, therefore, we have 3 times 3 is 9, and then x squared, y squared for the variables, and then x times 1 is x, and negative times negative is positive. So, we have positive x sine xy. So, therefore, this is the partial derivative of x with respect to y. So, therefore, the total differential is 6xy cubed plus y sine xy multiplied by dx plus 9x squared y squared plus x sine xy multiplied by dx. So, therefore, this is the total differential. Okay? Next, pupunta na tayo sa exact differential equations. So, sabi, the differential equation m of x, y dx plus n of x, y dy equals 0 is said to be exact if and only if the partial derivative of m with respect to y is equal to the partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, parang ito yung testing procedure natin para malaman natin kung yung given DE natin in this form ay exact. So, apply natin yung ginawa natin kanina, yung nag-partial derivative tayo, di ba? Both with respect to y, tsaka with respect to x. So, kapag nahanap natin yung partial derivative nitong dalawa at nag-equal sila, then, exact yung DE natin. At pwede natin i-apply yung ituturo ko sa inyong mamayang procedure sa pagsisolve ng DE. Okay? So, para mag-illustrate, mag-solve tayo ng example. So, determine whether the differential equation is exact or not. So, for A, we have, so, ang M natin, for A is, di ba itong nakatabi sa dx. So, 2xy plus x, tapos yung n of x, y natin, yung nakatabi sa dy, which is x squared plus y. So, sabi, sa pagtitest, dapat daw yung partial derivative of m with respect to y, so kapag m, sa y tayo mag-differentiate, equals sa partial derivative ng n, this time with respect to x naman. Okay? So, magkabaliktad sila, di ba? So, hanapin muna natin to. So, ano ba yung partial derivative of m with respect to y? So, ito yung function na titignan natin. So, constant si x, tapos i-derivative lang natin si y. So, itong 2x tabi lang. So, 2x, and then derivative ng y is 1, plus derivative ng x, dahil constant siya, ay 0. So, we have 2x, right? And then, partial derivative of n with respect to x naman. So, ito yung titignan nating function, yung n. So, we have constant si y. So, yung x lang di-differentiate natin. Derivative ng x squared is 2x plus derivative ng y dahil constant siya ay 0. So, therefore, we have 2x. So, therefore, equal yung partial derivative ng m with respect to y tsaka partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, therefore, itong DE natin ay exact DE. Okay? Next, we have B. So, for B, yung m of x, y natin, yung nakamultiply ulit sa dx, which is itong x sin y. Tapos yung n of x, y, yung nakamultiply ulit sa dy, which is itong x squared cos y. So, test ulit natin. So, partial derivative of m with respect to y is equal to, so, constant si x. So, parang pwede natin itabi lang muna siya, tapos i-derivative natin itong sin y, which is cos y, right? So, we have x cos y for partial derivative of m with respect to y. Now, partial derivative of n with respect to x, constant naman ngayon si y. So, itong cos y, pwede lang natin siyang igilid, multiplied by the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. So, therefore, we have 2x cos y. So, therefore, hindi sila equal. Kasi ito, dn over dx, itong partial derivative of n with respect to dx ay may constant na 2. While itong partial derivative of m with respect to y ay wala. So, hindi sila totally the same. So, therefore, this dE is not exact differential equation. Okay, dumako na tayo sa solution of exact differential equations. So, sabi, to solve an exact differential equation is to find a relation f of x, y so that the left member of the equation is the total differential of f of x, y. So, consider na natin tong total differential. df is equal to partial derivative of x with respect to x times dx plus partial derivative of f with respect to y dy, where partial derivative of f with respect to x is m, and partial derivative of f with respect to y is n. And our total differential df is 0. So therefore, ito yung mabubuo nating form ng dE, yung m dx plus n dy equals 0. So diba ito yung form natin ng dE, yung m natin ay function ng x at y, at yung n natin ay function ng x at y din. So dahil naka-equate tayo sa 0, yung total differential natin ay 0. So ito, parang equate natin sa 0. Tapos hahanapin natin yung function f in such a way na yung partial derivative ng f with respect to x ay equal dito sa m of x, y. Tapos yung partial derivative ng f with respect to y ay equal dito sa n of x, y. Then nakamultiply lang sila sa differential dx at dy. Masasolve na natin yung dE. Considering na kapag exact, dapat yung partial derivative of m with respect to y is equal to partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, gagamitin ulit natin tong testing procedure na to para sa pagsasolve ng exact differential equation. Okay, so para ma-illustrate ay mag-solve tayo ng example para mas malinawan tayo sa step-by-step process. Okay, so for the first example, we have solve the following differential equations. Number 1, quantity y squared minus 2xy plus 6x dx minus quantity x squared minus 2xy plus 2 dy equals 0. Okay, so therefore we have m of x, y equals, dito sa nakamultiply sa dx, itong function na to, y squared minus 2xy plus 6x. Tapos yung n of x, y natin, yung nakamultiply sa dy, which is this function, x squared minus 2xy plus 2. But take note, meron siyang negative. So, didistribute natin yan. Magiging negative x squared plus 2xy minus 2. Okay? Now, test natin kung exact ba tong dE. Applying yung kanina, yung partial derivative of m with respect to y dapat equal sa partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, ano ba yung partial derivative of m with respect to y? So, ito, i-differentiate natin with respect to y. Constant si x. So, derivative ng y squared is 2y minus itong 2x, igilid lang natin dahil considered sila as constant. So, minus 2x, derivative ng y is 1. Plus 6x, derivative niyan ay 0 kasi yung x ay constant. So, therefore, we have 2y minus 2x. Tapos, partial derivative of n with respect to x is equal to, this time constant si y, so x lang yung derivative natin. Derivative ng negative x squared is negative 2x plus itong 2 tsaka y, igilid natin dahil constant sila, multiplied by the derivative of x which is 1. Minus, derivative ng 2 is 0. So, we have negative 2x plus 2y. So, therefore, equal sila yung 2y minus 2x for partial derivative of n with respect to x, tapos 2y minus 2x then for partial derivative of m with respect to y. So, pwede natin i-apply yung steps na ituturo ko sa inyo sa pagsasolve ng dE. Okay, so di ba meron tayong df is equal to partial derivative of f with respect to x dx plus partial derivative of f with respect to y dy. At meron tayong dE na m of x, y dx plus n of x, y dy equals 0. So, di ba, isaset din natin tong df as 0. So, pwede tayo magsimula by equating this partial derivative of f with respect to x dito sa m of x, y. Right? So, ano ba yung m of x, y natin kanina? Yung y squared minus 2xy plus 6x. So, y squared minus 2xy plus 6x. Okay? So, parang magiging df is equal to y squared minus 2xy plus 6x multiplied by, cross multiply ko dito, magiging times dx. Tapos, integrate natin both sides with respect to x. So, integral ng df is simply f is equal to integral nito. So, i-treat natin this time as constant then yung y. So, dito sa integral ng y squared, yung y squared ay constant. So, y squared multiplied by derivative ng dx is x. Minus, ito uling 2y ay constant. So, igilid ko lang, multiplied by derivative ng x, power formula is x squared over 2, right? Plus, derivative ng 6x is 6x squared over 2. Power formula for integral. And then, magkakaroon tayo ng plus a constant function of y. Function of y, yung constant natin, kasi di ba considered constant yung y nung nag-integrate tayo. So, we have plus h of y. So, let's say h of y yung constant natin. So, simplify lang natin. We have xy squared minus x squared y, cancel si 2, plus 3x squared plus h of y. So, ito yung f natin. So, ito yung equation 1. Okay? Next, ngayon, solve naman natin itong h of y. So, para ma-solve si h of y, hanapin natin yung partial derivative ng f, ito yung nakuha natin, with respect to y. So, dapat itong partial derivative of f with respect to y ay equal siya dito sa n of x, y natin, base dito sa equation natin, di ba? Corresponding kasi silang dalawa. So, hanapin na natin yung partial derivative ng f with respect to y dito sa nakuha nating f. So, this time, constant naman si x, so si y lang yung i-derivative natin. So, derivative ng f ay, dito muna sa first term. So, constant nga si x, so tabi lang. Tapos, derivative ng y squared is 2y. Minus, itong x squared, tabi lang dahil constant, derivative ni y is 1. Plus, itong 3x squared dahil constant, 0. And then, plus, and then derivative nitong h of y is, copy lang natin muna as is, derivative ng h of y with respect to y. Okay? Tapos, dapat daw equal to sa n of x, y natin. So, equate natin tong partial derivative of f with respect to y na, simplify muna natin. 2xy minus x squared plus derivative of h of y with respect to y equal dito sa n of x, y natin. Ano ba yung n of x, y natin? Itong negative x squared plus 2xy minus 2. So, we have negative x squared plus 2xy minus 2. So, solving for derivative of h of y with respect to y, parang makakancel natin to, di ba? Tsaka ito, matitira is negative 2 equals derivative of h of y with respect to y. So, masasolve na natin ngayon dito si h of y. How? I-cross multiply ko to dito. Magiging negative 2 dy is equal to differential h of y. And integrate both sides, we have integral nitong negative 2 dy is, with respect to y, is negative 2y equals, integral nitong differential h of y is simply h of y. Okay? And then, meron lang pala tayong ilalagay ulit na plus c kasi nag-integrate tayo. Right? So, therefore, ito na yung magiging final answer natin. Yung f is equal to, ito, diba, yung xy squared minus x squared y plus 3x squared. Tapos, itong h of y natin na na-compute, ito yon yung negative 2y plus c. Negative 2y plus c. Okay? And then, itong c na constant, transpose natin, magiging f minus c is equal to xy squared minus x squared y plus 3x squared minus 2y. Tapos, i-let natin na yung f minus c is equal to single c na lang. Okay? So, pwede pala natin itong gawing C1 para ma-differentiate natin siya dito sa single c na walang subscript. So, pwede natin gawing f minus c sub 1 equals c. So, parang magiging ano na lang to, c. So, therefore, this is the final answer natin. So, naka-equate lang sa constant yung final answer natin sa exact DE. Okay? Next, we have quantity 2xy cos x squared minus 2xy plus 1 times dx plus quantity sin x squared minus x squared dy equals 0. Okay, so yung m of x, y natin ay itong nakamultiply sa dx na 2xy cos x squared minus 2xy plus 1 at yung n of x, y natin ay equal dito sa nakamultiply sa dy. Sin x squared minus x squared. So, test muna natin kung exact ba tong dE. So, hanapin natin yung partial derivative of m with respect to y. So, we have constant c, x. Differentiate natin with respect to y, we have. So, itong 2x saka cos x squared, constant. So, igigilid lang natin. Tapos, derivative ng y is 1. Minus, ito uling 2x constant. So, igigilid lang natin. Times derivative of y, which is 1. Derivative ng constant na 1 is 0. So, we have 2x cosine x squared minus 2x. Next, ito naman sa partial derivative of n with respect to x naman. So, we have constant naman ngayon dito si x. So obviously, puro x lang naman yung variable natin dito sa n. So, derivative natin lahat ng term. So, we have derivative ng sin x squared is cos x squared multiplied by derivative ng x squared is 2x, chain rule, okay? Tapos, derivative ng negative x squared is negative 2x. So, therefore, we have 2x cosine x squared minus 2x. So, equal ba sila? Yes. So, therefore, exact D ito. So, pwede nating gawin yung ginawa natin doon sa example number 1 natin sa pagsisolve ng exact DE. Okay, so doon muna tayo sa equate muna natin yung partial derivative of f with respect to x dito sa m of x, y natin, which is itong whole expression na to, yung 2xy cosine x squared minus 2xy plus 1. Then, cross-multiply ko dito si dx, magiging df is equal to 2xy cos x squared minus 2xy plus 1 quantity multiplied by dx. Then, integrate natin both sides. Integral ng df is simply f is equal to, integrate natin to with respect to x uli So, constant ngayon si y, so pwede natin siyang igilid dito. Ang integrate lang natin ay itong 2x cosine x squared. So, let u be x squared. Tapos, derivative natin, du is equal to 2x dx. So, itong 2x dx, gagawin natin du na lang. So, magiging integral ng, di ba itong y constant, sa gilid na lang, cos u du, right? Integral ng cos u is sin u. Okay, so we have y sin u, and then yung u balik natin sa x squared. So, y sin x squared. So, magiging y time sin x squared lang to. Minus, integrate uli natin tong negative 2xy with respect to x. So, yung y constant, so igigilid ko lang. Tapos, integral ng x, power formula is x squared over 2. Right? Plus, integral ng 1 is x. And then, meron ulit tayong function of y. Okay? So, we have f is equal to y sin x squared. Cancel dito si 2 minus x squared y plus x plus h of y. Okay? Next step, hanapin naman natin tong h of y. How? I-partial derivative natin tong f na nakuha natin with respect to y. Dapat naka-equate naman this time sa n of x, y. Kasi yun yung form talaga natin nung differential, di ba? So, dapat naka-equate siya sa sin x squared minus x squared. So, hanapan muna natin tong partial derivative of f with respect to y. So, therefore, constant si x, si y lang yung i-derivative natin. So, dito sa first term, itong ang x ay constant, so pwede lang nating igilid tong sin x squared multiplied by the derivative of y, which is 1. Minus, itong x squared constant ulit, so gilid lang natin multiplied by the derivative of y, which is 1. Plus, x is constant, so 0 yan. Plus, derivative nitong h of y with respect to y is derivative of h of y with respect to y lang. As is lang muna. Okay, so simplify, we have sin x squared minus x squared plus derivative of h of y with respect to y. Tapos, diba sabi ko, naka-equate siya sa n of x, y. Ano ba yung n of x, y natin? Itong sin x squared minus x squared. So, sin x squared minus x squared. Okay, so, makakancel ulit natin ng sin x squared tsaka negative x squared. Matitira ay 0 na lang dito. Tapos, derivative ng h of y with respect to y. So, ganun lagi yung ma-encounter nyo. Parang makakancel yung other terms at meron ka lang matitirang ibang terms na either constant or expression na dapat with respect doon sa variable na di-differentiate nyo, which is this time ay y. So, since itong left side ay 0, pwede pa rin yun, right? So, pag kinos-multiply ko itong dy, parang 0, di ba? 0 differential h of y. So, pag in-integrate natin yan, 0 or constant na lang. So, let's say c1 is equal to h of y. Okay, so meron na tayong h of y. So, di ba yung final form natin kanina ng f ay ito? So, we have f is equal to y sine x squared minus x squared y plus x. Tapos, yung h of y natin ay c sub 1 lang na constant. Tapos again, i-transpose natin itong c sub 1 sa kabila, magiging f minus c sub 1 is equal to y sine x squared minus x squared y plus x. Tapos let f minus c sub 1 equal single c. So parang magiging c is equal to y sine x squared minus x squared y plus x. So therefore, this is the solution for our exact DE. Okay? Next, we have quantity y e raised to xy minus 2y cubed dx plus quantity x e raised to xy minus 6xy squared minus 2y dy equals 0 when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2. Okay, so meron tayong condition na y equals 0 when y is equal to 2. So therefore, meron tayong particular solution dito sa DE. So masasolve natin yung constant. Okay, so since exact D ito, test muna natin kung exact nga ba siya. So, di ba yung m of x, y natin ay itong function na to, y e raised to xy minus 2y cubed. Tapos yung n of x, y natin ay itong function na to, x e raised to xy minus 6xy squared minus 2y. So, test natin yung partial derivative of m with respect to y, equal yan saan? So, constant si x. So, derivative natin to with respect to y. So, parang product formula. So, copy mo natin si y. Derivative nitong e raised to xy, parang e raised to xy multiplied by derivative nitong xy. Yung x ay constant ha. So, parang x times 1. Chain rule. Plus, this time, copy naman natin tong e raised to xy times derivative nitong first function na y, which is 1. Minus, derivative nitong negative 2y cubed is 6y squared, right? So, simplify natin further. We have xy e raised to xy plus e raised to xy minus 6y squared. Okay? Then, ito naman, yung partial derivative of n with respect to x, we have, ito, derivative natin, magiging, so, usog ko dito. Ganun ulit, product formula. So, copy ko muna yung first function na x. Tapos, derivative nitong e raised to xy is e raised to xy multiplied by, this time y naman si constant, so times y multiplied by derivative ng x is 1. Plus, copy ko naman tong e raised to xy multiplied by the derivative of first function na x, which is 1 lang. Okay? Minus, itong 6xy squared, itong y squared, tsaka 6 constant. So, igigilid ko lang. So, 6y squared, tapos, yung x, derivative natin, 1 lang yon. Minus 2y, itong 2y, constant si y, so parang 0 yung derivative niyan. So, minus 0. So, therefore, we have xy e raised to xy plus e raised to xy minus 6y squared. So, therefore, equal sila. Yung partial derivative of m with respect to y equals partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, therefore, exact DE. Okay? Okay, punta na tayo doon sa next step. So, equate natin yung partial derivative of f with respect to x dito sa m of x, y natin. Ito yun, di ba? Yung y e raised to xy minus 2y cubed. So, y e raised to xy minus 2y cubed. Then, cross-multiply ko dito si dx, magiging df is equal to y e raised to xy minus 2y cubed quantity times dx. Tapos, integrate natin both sides. So, the integral of df is simply f equals integral nitong function na to with respect to x. So, y is constant. So, parang integral nitong y e raised to xy dx is simply yung y itabas ko, integral ng e raised to xy dx. So, pwede natin i-let you dito yung xy. So, therefore, du is equal to, since constant si y dito, igilid lang natin, derivative nitong x is 1, then dx. So, parang du is equal to y dx. So, dx lang yung kailangan natin, diba? So, parang, divide natin both sides by y, we have du over y is equal to dx. So, substitute na natin. Y, integral ng e raised to yung xy, ginawa kong u, tapos yung dx, magiging du over y. So, parang itong y constant, ilalabas ko magiging y over y integral ng eu du. Integral ng eu du is simply eu pa rin. So, ito cancel pala to. So, eu na lang. Tapos, balik natin yung u in terms of xy. So, parang e raised to xy. Okay? So, therefore, we have here e raised to xy na lang minus integral nitong 2y cube. Since constant si y, parang mumultiply lang natin siya ng integral ng dx which is x. So, 2y cube x. Okay? Then, laging plus function of y. Kasi constant natin si y dito. So, therefore, ito yung f natin. E raised to xy minus 2xy cube plus h of y. Tapos, next step, i-partial derivative natin tong f with respect to y this time. Tapos, equate natin sa n of x comma y. Itong expression na to. So, partial derivative muna natin itong nakuha nating f. So, diba ito yun? E raised to xy minus 2xy cube plus h of y. Ano yung partial derivative ng e raised to xy with respect to y? So, chain rule. E raised to xy multiplied by the derivative of xy with respect to y tayo. So, constant si x. So, we have x times derivative ng y is 1. Minus 2xy cube. So, constant ulit itong 2x. Partial derivative lang natin itong y cube. So, 3y squared. So, negative 2x times 3y squared. And then itong h of y, as is lang muna na derivative of h of y with respect to y. Okay? So, simplify natin. We have x e raised to xy minus 6xy squared plus derivative of h of y with respect to y. Tapos, equate nga natin sa n of x comma y. Ano ba yung n of x comma y? Ito yun, di ba? So, we have, urong ko muna dito. So, we have n of x natin is x e raised to xy minus 6xy squared minus 2y. So, makakancel uli natin to. Tapos, ito, matitira ay negative 2y equals derivative of h of y with respect to y. Okay, so mapapansin nyo, in terms of y yung left side natin at nag-differentiate tayo with respect to y. So, masasolve natin si y dito. So, cross-multiply ko si dy magiging negative 2y dy is equal to differential h of y. Tapos, integrate both sides. We have integral ng negative 2y dy is negative 2y squared over 2 power formula plus c1 equals integral ng dh of y is simply h of y. So, we have cancel negative y squared plus c1 is equal to h of y. So, therefore, ito na yung magiging final answer natin. F is equal to, ito yun, di ba? E raised to xy minus 2xy cube minus 2xy cube plus h of y. Ano ba yung h of y na nakuha natin? Ito, di ba, yung negative y squared plus c1 minus y squared plus c1. Tapos, again, itong c1, transpose ko sa kabila. So, f minus c1 is equal dito. E raised to xy minus 2xy cube minus y squared. Tapos, let c equals f minus c1. So, magiging dito na lang. C is equal to e raised to xy minus 2xy cube minus y squared. Okay? So, ito yung general solution. Now, dahil meron tayong condition na sabi, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2, nasasolve natin yung constant. So, substitute natin. C is equal to e raised to, when x is 0 daw, y is 2. So, 0 times 2 minus 2 times x is 0 times y is 2. So, 2 cubed minus y is 2. So, 2 squared. So, we have e raised to 0 times 2 or e raised to 0 minus 2 times 0 times 2 cubed is simply 0 minus 2 squared is 4. So, parang e raised to 0 is 1 minus 4. We have c is equal to 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So, therefore, it is the particular solution. E raised to xy minus 2xy cubed minus y squared is equal to, yung constant na solve natin is negative 3. Okay? So, ganun lang mag-solve nung exact DE. So, apply nyo lang yung concept na dapat para maging exact yung DE, hanapin nyo yung partial derivative of m with respect to y at partial derivative of n with respect to x, dapat equal sila para maging exact yung DE. At kapag na-verify nyo na exact, ay sundin nyo lang yung steps na ginawa natin sa pagsusolve nitong DE. Okay, kabisaduhin nyo lang yung steps at mag-practice lang kayo at masasanay din kayo sa pagsusolve ng exact DE. Okay? So, that's it for this video. So, sana ay may natutunan kayo sa video na to at maraming salamat sa panonood.